Hi guys, I'm NitroTom. In this video I will show you how to build Charged Shot Ember. This was asked a week ago and well, it was only said Pyro build, so that's pretty broad. So I'm going with the one build everyone can do even at C0, the Charged Shot build. We will go first over shooting techniques, then the artifacts, then the bow, after that the team, and at last some sort of showcase with a 3-star bow. So first the shooting. There's one method that would be just aiming with the R or with the aim toggle and just shoot whenever the charged shot is ready. Another one would be hold cancels. In case of pyro shots you just keep holding until you get a pyro shot. Otherwise it's the same as physical. And the last method would be the fastest or sometimes more convenient, because shorter DPS windows. You start with a hold cancel and immediately follow up with a aim mode toggle shot. So these are two pretty fast shots back to back. Then you do a dash and repeat that. As for artifacts, if you're early game, look out for Resolution of Sojourn or Martial Artist or Braveheart. And if you're in endgame, Shiminawa's Reminiscence and Runner's Troop. I would recommend the latter because Shiminawa is a bit rough to use without C4 because the bunny has 15 seconds cooldown and the set effect has 10 seconds and you need to toss a bunny to get the effect, so you may end up with some downtime even if you calculate your team rotation in. But if you can manage that, feel free to use it. It's slightly better if you can use it well, but Runner's Troop is not with conditions other than charge shot, and that's what the build is about anyway. For the main stats, you want on the Sans attack or EM. Prefer EM if you play with Bennett, because you get a lot of attack from him. For the Goblet you want Pyro obviously, and for the Darklet you want crit damage. Like, you do not need any crit rate. You're shooting weak spots, which means 100% crit guaranteed if you find an enemy with one. So this is not good for bossing. Other stats you might wanna look out for substats, like crit damage is obvious now, is attack percent and EM. EM is more important than attack, so prefer that. And yeah, that's basically about it. Some energy recharge if you run Shiminawa, and yeah, you would be set with artifacts. Now for the bows. There are different tiers. The Amber tier consists of Skyward Harp, Prototype Crescent R1, Hamayomi R1, Blackcliff Barbo R1, and Sharpshooter's Oath R5. The Harp refines do not matter because it will not get out of the tier with the refines. And Sharpshooter's Oath is a 3-star, so it's very cheap to make, like to level. Like a 3-star is half the Mystic or a 4-star takes. And it can jump up a tier if you're playing with a lot of attack buffs and Bennett, because its only weakness is a low base attack. So the next tier, the Amber Comfy tier, is a R1 Sunring Pulse or R5 Prototype Crescent, Hamayomi, Blackcliff Warbow. The next tier is a very small jump consisting of Armor's Bow R1 and Sunring Pulse R5. Most people say Armor's Bow unconditionally the best ever for charge shot. I disagree because you need some distance, otherwise the other bows, like in the second tier or third tier, will just take over. And the Amber Smug tier, of course, the Armor's Bow R5, because it gets so much out of the refines that the distance barely matters. Like, if you're only one dash away from being the best, then you're good enough for that best in slot. Now the team composition. Basically, Charged Shot Ember wants only one thing, and that's our off-field cryo source. So if you're very unlucky, Kaya. If you're lucky, Diana. If you're very lucky, Rosaria C2. If you basically hate the meta, Ganyu. And these have their own advantages. Of course, C0 Diana is just a good cryo source and healing and shield, but C6 gives you also 200 EM, very useful. Rosaria has a crit rate share. If you combine that with cryo resonance, you get 30% crit rates for your charge shot at most, and that can help you for weak spotless enemies without going hard into crit rate, which is pretty nice. Ganyu gives you a lot of freedom and she really pulls her weight off field with her damage. It's a really good ult. For the other teammates, usually either cryo resonance or pyro resonance. Bennett is a good partner. Zhongli has shield and shreds resistances. You can also use an animal for resistance shred. Yeah, basically you want to fill the shielder and the healer role if possible, and also add some buffs, like if you have an Catalyst user, give it the Dragon Book. Like, don't go play Sacrosa with the EM book. Yes, she does share EM, but unless you want her personal damage to be great, a Dragon Book would buff Ember better. Have a Noblesse user, if possible a Tenacious user, but I think it's not easy currently to have one without bringing a weird unit, unless it's Zhongli. Like, Visual would ruin your rotations. And yeah, kinda wanna look out for buffs to get as much out of Ember's charge shot as possible, because charge shot Ember teams generally have her in the center and everyone else is just supporting her in some way. Now for the showcase, you're watching this right now actually, and I just clear some runes in the event using Ember with a Sharpshooter's Oath. She has pretty decent artifacts, so you should expect 30k hits for melt, basic melts. If you're starting out and just get the first correct main stats, and that can go up to 40k like you see here, or even higher. Like, my stats are not god roll, they're just decent. And if you get an armor spore R1 or something, that can easily get to 50k. Of course this also has power resonance, but well, it's a team game. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the showcase and see you at the next video, I guess.